We're good. Okay, I'm really sorry. I don't know what happened. I don't know why it happened, but we are back. So yeah, we can move to the next story right now, which is just a second. Oops. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Sorry. I thought my stream died again. It's all fine. It's all fine. Sorry, guys. Thank you for staying with me if you are. But yeah, next story. You find a tiny sticker stuck to your body. The first part reads quality control passed. Quality control passed. Steve was confused. He had no idea where the sticker came from. He tried ripping it off and throwing it, but it just wouldn't come off. He just left it there. Listen, Steve was a busy man. His schedule went like this: 6:30 a.m. alarm rings and he gets up. 7 a.m. Steve was in the gym and pumping weights and doing cardio. 8 a.m. Steve would eat a healthy breakfast of eggs and the best choices of meat from his personal chef. He'd wash it down with a smoothie. 9 a.m. Steve would be in his office and start work. 1 p.m. Steve would break for lunch and would eat his company provided well-rounded meal. 5 p.m. Steve would leave work and grab a bite to eat from the local hot dog vendor. It technically wasn't allowed, but he would still treat himself. 6 p.m. Steve was home and would feed his dogs. 7 to 9 p.m. Steve was allowed to relax, watch movies, play games, and so on. 10 p.m. Steve would eat dinner. 11 p.m. Steve's lover would come over and they would stay in bed having fun. 12 a.m. Steve would be asleep and his lover was escorted out of the building. This was Steve's life. Every day was the same, but Steve didn't mind. He was an orphan who struck it big in the luck department and got taken in by an orphanage. He was then given education and got a placement into this company where work was a breeze. He just had to study a lot and create tests about different subjects that would be given to students. Steve literally just had to study, write questions, then attempt the paper himself to see if it was up to standard. And boy, was it up to standard. Steve was an absolute genius. He would score top marks all year round and he would get more and more benefits at his company provided home. It was small, but had everything Steve could dream of. They even set him up with a woman. What more could a living being want? This quality control sticker was annoying though. The next day, Steve noticed another sticker on him. Ready for consumption. Steve assumed his chef must have misplaced the sticker and must have stuck onto him somehow. He couldn't remove this one either though. As Steve sat in the chair, the floor underneath his chairs opened up and Steve fell down a long chute. He landed in a large machine where he was instantly zapped with a taser and then secured in place. Barely conscious, he watched as the butcher cut his throat and blood fell everywhere. Steve passed quality control. Steve was ready for consumption. So little dark, but it's actually just something that I thought of with animal husbandry. There is this manga / anime called Promise Neverland, where there are children in an orphanage and they are made sure they're very healthy and they're made sure that they're very smart, and that gave the best meat. And my families are well into animal activism, making sure that we can help animals all around. That's why we help the puppies and so on. And what I've seen a lot of videos about how chickens and cows and pigs and so on are slaughtered. And I was just thinking about it from that angle. Like, what would, if Steve passed quality control? I thought either robots, and I was like, I'm not smart enough to write about robots. No, I'm too dumb. So I was like, oh, let me write about livestock. And so Steve is livestock. He's basically just a person who's been picked up and primed just to be eaten later in his life. So he has a very strict schedule. He always has a very good breakfast, which he has a personal chef for, a dinner he has a personal chef for, and he has a lunch that his company provides him to make sure that he doesn't eat anything bad. The only thing he has is a hot dog, which I don't know. Are hot dogs very unhealthy? I've never eaten a hot dog, so I don't really know. But I still thought, hot dogs, something people consider a treat, so Steve just treats himself. And of course, Steve also has a lover who comes in and he has fun with, to say it gently. But yeah, so this is basically an animal's life where instead of doing work, the animal is left to graze around, have fun. They're given good food all the time. They made sure they can mate and so on and so forth. And then they make sure that the animal's meat is good for consumption. It's juicy, it's tasty, blah, 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 blah. They also say that, free range animals taste better because they live their life freely, and that's what Steve's life is. He's living freely, but he's still in the confines of something that he can't realize. And eventually, he gets ready for consumption, and he is sent down to this one thing where he's tased. That's what happens to cows, by the way. They're tased, and then they are chopped into pieces and then sent off. So whoever's running this company Steve works in basically traffics humans and makes meat out of them. I don't know why I thought of that. But yeah, Steve is now your dinner. You're eating Steve. Do you feel bad? Do you feel bad about eating Steve? I must say, like, my whole family is vegan, but I am not. So it's not like a vigilante cry for veganism. It's just a way. I just thought of like animals, Steve. You get it. It's just a fun way to think about life. But anyway, we can move on to the next one. I don't think you have any comments over here. I'm just going to check chat real quickly. Okay, no comments. So the next story is, as it turns out, there is no heaven, there is a hell. I lifted my hand for one last time and stroked the chin of my wife. I was young, but illness had afflicted me too early. I was surely gone. Nothing could save me. Centuries of medicine evolving, and life could still be lost at 26. It was sad, but I could finally feel free. I would no longer be in pain. I love you. Thank you for staying by me. I grasped to her. She didn't reply. She couldn't. She just held my hand with both her hands and started weeping openly. I closed my eyes for the final time. Except, I could feel something change around me. One moment I was in the cool, air-conditioned room of the hospital, struggling to breathe, and the next I could feel intense heat, and that made me struggle to breathe. I opened my eyes to complain about my last moments on earth being terrible when I realized I was on the floor. On fire. I was on fire! I get up and shake the flames off, but the flames didn't stick on at all. They simply existed there to create heat, not burn. I saw a tall, goat-headed figure walking towards me calmly with a giant spear, and the reality of the situation hit me. This had to be hell. There was no other explanation for what happened. Why am I in hell? I lived a good life. I was kind to people. I spread happiness. I had a live stream where the stories I wrote would make people feel really good and entertained. And I even helped animals a lot. I deserve to be in heaven. I demand to go to heaven now. Satan reaches me and speaks in his velvet, silky voice. Welcome to eternity. What terrible fate would you like to suffer for the rest of forever? He asked with a smile. Dear sir, might I ask why I ended up in what seemed like the lower rungs of hell when I clearly should be in heaven? I believe there's been a mistake and must insist that you check with our holy Lord above. I must be there post haste, I claimed. Drop the act. I know you don't believe in heaven or hell when you are alive. Besides, God's gone. He's not there anymore. He shut down heaven and went away. All heavenly souls, now in hell. All souls come to hell by default. It's quite the pain for me to handle, truth be told, he ranted, the velvetiness of his voice sharply reducing. Okay, fine. What do you mean by God, though? Gone? Yes, gone, he replied sharply. Gone where? I asked. Gone, he replied. Well, what do I do here then? I asked. You get tortured the rest of time. I have the best thing for you. You get to watch your wife meet other young men and get in bed with them. On loop. He laughed maniacally. Dude, that's my kink. I used to watch her do that anyway, I replied. Oh, well, then I will need to think of something new for you, he muttered angrily. How about this, Satan? I help you redesign hell to accommodate all the extra people who are coming in, and I help you design some absolutely evil punishments that will make music out of the screams of all the people who are unfortunate enough to fall into my creations. Interesting. Let us talk in my office. It's the only place with cooling around here. He said, interested. Hey, I've worked in the human advertising industry. This hell is much better than that hell. So just a few things to talk about this particular story, which is that there's no heaven, but there's a hell. But if there's a hell, there should be a heaven, because there has to be something opposite. You can't have a devil who didn't create life but punishes all life. So something should have created life in this situation. So there had to be a heaven. So I was like, God got tired of heaven. He was tired of the humans coming in and worshipping him all the time. He just left. He went on vacation. So it's a bit of a, I was thinking of the philosophy of it. Can hell exist without heaven, and can heaven exist without hell? There has to be a place for bad people to go, but good people can't go to the bad place. But if there was no good place, then everybody would end up in the same place after all. So yeah, I basically just thought of a person like me, 26. I'm not ill, but this person is. Illness claims them. They die. His wife is crying right over there, and he's in hell. What do you do when you're in hell? And why would you even go to hell? If you're a person who's doing something good in life, you shouldn't be in hell. And so he tries to talk to Satan, and Satan's like really done with this shit. He's like, my God, I can't take all the souls who are coming into hell all the time when they should be going to heaven. God is not doing his job. He's just gone off somewhere. It's so annoying. And it's like, okay, he just rants. And then hell has a special torture method for each person who passes through. And this guy's torture method is apparently that his wife meets other young men and he has to watch them have sex forever. But he says that's his kink. Is it really? Or is he just tricking the devil? I don't know. I definitely would trick the devil if the devil said something like that, which would make, if you really lean in to the punishment somebody is giving you and enjoy it, then they're bound to not give you the same punishment, or at least not give you as much punishment, if that makes sense. And of course, he then talks to Satan and talks about redesigning hell to make it even worse for the others who come after him and the others who are already there. And this is just a little bit interesting because I've had a conversation with my friends multiple times. I've had this conversation so many times, it's not even funny. In fact, one time was like at 2:30 a.m., we're walking outside on the road and I'm discussing what I would do to people who go to hell if I was in charge of hell. My theory is that Satan can be reasoned with. Okay, he's been in hell for millennia or for eternity, and he has to keep torturing people. He has to keep poking them with spears, and it can get really boring and drab. And my idea was to spruce up the entire underworld into different rungs and make sure that there was a special punishment for each person. And I don't know if this is okay to say on stream, but one of my punishments was an endless pool of diarrhea, and you just have to float in it, and people keep puking because they're in an endless pool of diarrhea. It's like one of those floaty loop things, that you see in amusement parks, except it's all shit, literal shit. And I'm telling you, it would be evil. It would be terrible for anyone who's there. And you could come up with a lot. I can't say all the things I came up with because one, I would definitely be banned. And two, if you guys die before me and go to hell, I don't want you to steal my ideas. So my ideas stay with me. Haha. Yeah, and the last part is the ad industry thing. I did work in the ad industry, and one of the reasons that I've even named this stream like Imagining a World Without Depression is because I am going through severe depression, clinical depression, and it all started with the ad industry, where I really lost sight of who I was, and I learned a lot of things about the world, and I was really, really disappointed with the way it worked. I live in India, so it was all the more worse, and I can't think of a worse hell than that. So I wish you the best in life, and I hope you don't go to the ad industry under any circumstances. It's absolutely, absolutely terrible. But that's it for this story. I will take a quick sip of water again, and then I will go on to the next story unless any of you have anything to say. Okay. I'm just going to check chat quickly. Nothing here, nothing here, nothing here, and nothing here. Oh, sorry. Mods to keep you, says Bazooka Baby. Who are you? Who are you? Is a new account. Are you someone I know? With the Bazooka Baby, too suspicious. You're someone I know, aren't you? Anyway, I'm going to I'm going to act as if I don't know what bazooka baby means to me and go on to the last story, which a few people enjoyed on Reddit. So my thanks to all of you who read the story on writing prompts. And we can start with this one. The church declared you a dark lord. Why? You didn't follow their call to crusading. Let foreigners with different beliefs into your country, and instead of slaughtering them, you learned a bit of their magic as part of cultural exchange. So says the Church of Bacchus. The Lord and Emperor of the city of Tremoria, Gotinus, is hereby declared a heretic and is given the status of Dark Lord. Gotinus has been forsaken by God Almighty and is hence stripped of his powers for his new indulgence in the forbidden magical arts that threaten the very base of our empire. Gotinus has let loose his foreign minions who practice magic and will destroy our great nation from the inside. The Church of Bacchus urges citizens to be vigilant and report any suspicious foreigners and have rewards for the humble people who either take down or give us information to take down the traitor Gotinus. Thus ends the announcement of the Church of Bacchus. The announcer said loudly but calmly and packed up his things. He had to go do this in multiple parts of town now. A horde of people stood around him and waited. They had received news of a giant reward, and all of them were thinking the same thing. We will never give up our Lord Gotinus. One man stood amongst the crowd with a very jovial look on his face. He very excitedly strolled out of the crowd and ran into a cheap hotel room that was almost breaking down. Lauren, did you hear the news about Gotinus? A reward for the person who turns him in. Should we do it? He asked excitedly. Lauren did not look impressed. Would you give up a good person for worthless gold? Especially after Aiden and I taught you how to make gold, Lord Gotinus? She asked. The man morphed into his original form. Ha ha ha! The ability to change shape is fascinating, Lauren. Teach me more of your Lordium magic, and we shall challenge the Church of Bacchus directly, he claimed. Lauren was still not impressed. Honestly, Gotinus, this is why we are afraid of teaching foreigners our precious magic. We will challenge the church eventually, but now is not the time. You can't even cast offensive magic. You only know how to do alchemy and morph yourself into different people. Learn your limits, she scolded Gotinus. Gotinus seemed quite down after this scolding. He was a man who was childish and liked getting what he wanted. He was still an amazing king who would look after every need of his kingdom. He wanted to fight the church not to regain the throne, but to protect his people. Come now, Lawrence, stated Aiden. We can always teach him something new. Gotinus, what are the best spell ever that will blow away all your enemies? He asked as if he was trying to distract a child. I see what you do. Yes, please, teach it to me, said Gotinus very excitedly. Aiden smiled. Here we go. I'm going to teach you the best thing ever. Gotinus was jumping up and down. What is it? Fireball. Okay, it's a meme. It was a meme. Fine. The fireball is a meme. But I still wanted to put it in either way. Okay, you can't blame me. A guy loves fireball. Okay, truth be told, I'm not a D&D player. This is a story I've told before, but I actually played D&D with 3 of my friends. My friend and his brother was the DM, and it was the first time we played D&D. I was an elf who could use magic, but then I think my constitution was really low, something like that. My intelligence was really low, something. I wanted to be a magic caster, but then my magic casting abilities were very bad. And my friend said was an old man who was literally like 90 years old or something. And the only reason he was even alive was because he made a promise, or he made a deal with what is basically our world's version of Cthulhu, to lead people to Cthulhu and give him more souls. And the last guy was actually like the most reasonable one. He was a half tiefling, I believe. And all 3 of us played for the first time, and our DM set up this entire grand story for us, led us through the entire thing, and we legit missed every clue, every single clue. We missed every clue that he gave us. We didn't go into the rooms we were supposed to, and when we went into the other rooms, we messed around, we faffed around, and at one point the DM legit told us, like, guys, listen, if you do this action, the game ends right here, so don't do it. And we were like, yes, this is a clue. And then we had a little break, and he was just telling us, like, guys, like, God damn it, I've been giving you clues this whole time, and you guys we are not able to progress the story because you haven't even gotten the first clue. And all of us are just like, oh, God damn it, now we have to think about every single thing we're doing. And he never played with us again. Basically, I suck as a D&D player. So if you want to play D&D with me, sure, message me. I will ruin your games very happily. But I did write a story a long time ago on writing prompts about a teacher who was teaching his class magic, and they got whisked away into another world. And I basically knew it, like there was some D&D element to it in the writing prompt itself. So I actually went and did a lot of research on D&D, and then I got more into it. And I was always reading stuff about D&D on Reddit, and I know that Fireball is the one spell that literally every wizard uses for every single situation, and people get annoyed as hell about it. And I was like, hey, what would you teach a guy who's just gotten into magic and he wants to fight people? And I was like, a natural answer was just Fireball. Like, what else would you teach? Not that I know a lot of other spells. Like, I'm not even kidding. The old man in the game I was playing with, my friend, he had something where he would insult people to death. Like he met this rat creature that was basically an undead rat, and then he spoke in some weird tongue, and he kept yelling insults at it until it took damage and died. I didn't know that was possible. Okay, I didn't know that in D&D you could actually insult a creature until it dies. It was a very new discovery for me, and I think it's the absolute best spell ever. And I don't know why people even use Fireball if you can insult people to death instead. Like all of your enemies just insult. Like it was a rat creature. It was an undead rat creature. It shouldn't be able to understand words, and somehow he spoke to it in its language and he insulted it to death. Sorry, that was a rant, but I don't know why Fireball is the most famous D&D spell. I'm telling you, I will find out what this spell is, and I will put it in my next story because that's just hilarious. But yeah, so the one time I played D&D, terrible, but I got a lot more into D&D because of it. I read a lot of D&D horror stories that people put up on Reddit, and everything involved a fireball, and everyone casting fireball prematurely or without really thinking about it, and causing chaos and destroying games and killing themselves, their other party members instead of the enemy, so on. So I was like, it's a fun thing. And the Church of Baptist is actually from a story I wrote in my last stream, which you can go check out on YouTube if you want to. Mickey Sin has read it, and he says, I remember your D&D. Yeah, he was watching, and he was laughing his ass off at the stupid shit we were doing, basically. Just give me a chance, guys. Play D&D with me. I swear I'm not that bad. I can write stories. I can be the DM without understanding the rest of the game. But yeah, Church of Baptist was from a stream that I did last stream, and it's on YouTube if you want to check it out. Now, I'm not saying you have to check it out, but it's on YouTube. Bru Writes on YouTube. I even cut up all the stories and put it up over there. So if you want to go see some of the earlier stories I've written, you can do that. Or if you're on Reddit, you can just go to my account and check out writing prompts. But please do not upvote the posts on writing prompts, because that is vote manipulation. I really don't want that to happen. So please don't do that. If you want to read the stories, they're all on my Reddit page, but don't upvote any of them. That's all I ask. If you want to. And all the other names and everything are just things that I thought of randomly, no real inspiration behind it. And the only thing I thought of was that a church which wants to keep its power, as we've seen a lot in human history and in a lot of fiction stories as well, is that the church will always supersede the position of king, president, dictator, blah, 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 because they hold the belief of the people. So when somebody in the church says something, it can override the rule of king. It can override the importance of the king. It can override the natural disposition of the king, so to speak. And the Church of Baptist just really wants Gotness to be gone because he performs magic, and that's against the church's beliefs. But Gotness is just a guy who is basically like a kid who's grown up, but he's just a kid. He wants to have fun. He wants to learn new things. He wants to do all sorts of crazy stuff. And he sees these guys who know magic, who are doing magic. And he's like, holy shit, I want to do that as well. And I just thought Gotness would be a great person who could learn Fireball in the end. And I also wanted to say alchemy and shape-shifting as very small little things, because I wanted it to be like, it's just like, it's whatever. We are capable of way more magic than that. This stuff, not good enough. You need to go learn more better spells, not just alchemy. Anyone can do alchemy, even though alchemy is supposed to be the hardest magic for anyone to ever do, according to usual fiction lore. Modstool Kid Duke says, good stories. Thank you. You can check them out again, as I said, on my Reddit account, or if you want on YouTube, I have all the videos of me narrating them out over there. And few of them are pretty good, I would say, if I do say so myself. But that's it. That's all the stories I have for today. Just a little thing that I say at the end of every stream is that I'm not using depression as like this buzzword to get people in. I actually do suffer from depression. I've suffered from depression since 2007. That's when I first felt the urge to do depression related things. And my psychiatrist has pretty much pointed that out as that year out as the reason my whole mental frame shifted. And it really affected me at school. In college, I got a lot better. And then I did a lot more. I worked on a lot of projects. I made short films. I kept myself busy. And then I went to the wrong doctor at the time. And I really went down this bad path. And I still haven't gotten out of it. I'm not able to do work. I'm always negative about the world. I don't feel like going to jobs in the things I'm good at, which is writing and video making in my country, in India, because it's not respected. A lot of people do a lot of terrible things, bad work conditions, borderline, and maybe not even borderline, like actually illegal things, which I didn't really want to be a part of. So I'm trying to figure out a way in life. And while I do that, I wanted to do something because I was doing nothing the whole time. I was just in bed and I would just get up and I would sit and I would stare at my PC. I wouldn't even be doing anything, or I would excessively just go out and cycle, and I wouldn't come back home. I would just be roaming around, or I would be distracted. So it's just, I was doing nothing in life, to sum it up. And this is a way for me to do something. It's a way for me to write. I was writing on writing prompts before, but I always used to be irregular with it, and I would just give it up after a point. And I thought, if I stream, if I put a schedule to it, then I will have to stick to the schedule. I will have to do it. I won't have a choice. I will hold myself accountable. And so far, so good. I've not missed a single stream except for New Year's, where I couldn't stream because I was in a friend's house. And I've been writing 4 to 5 stories for every stream. So it's really helped me out, and sharing it with you guys. I hope you got some entertainment out of it, and I hope that, I don't know, I've made you smile a little today. That's all I really wanted to do. I'm not here to stream for profit or anything like that. I don't have donate buttons or anything. I'm not a Twitch affiliate or partner or whatever it is. I'm just here to put up YouTube videos, stream a little bit, make some people happy, take them to a different world with my stories, and just have fun. So I'm really thankful for all of you for joining in. Modstool Kid Duke, I don't know if I'm saying your name right, but thank you very much for joining. And Alchemist for giving helpful. I really appreciate you guys. And I hope you can join me next time. I will be back on also Mickey, because Mickey's always been supporting me from the start. He's a good friend of mine. I will be back on Tuesday, the 18th, at around the same time, from 40 minutes ago from now. And yeah, thank you. I hope you enjoyed the stories, and I'll be back with more. And also, if you guys want to get in touch, you can always message me on Reddit about anything. If you're having a tough time, maybe I can help talk to you and make you feel better. I'm not promising I can do that, but I can try, because I really do want to help other people who are going through tough things in life. And I know a lot of people are going through tough things in life right now with the whole situation. So yeah, if you want to talk to me, please feel free to message me. And also you can come to my Discord if you want to have more conversations with more people. It's not really active right now. I haven't set it up. It's not something I'm planning to keep up per se. It's just a place where people can talk to me. So if you want to do that, great. I would love to discuss stories and any help I can give you in any way. I'm very poor, so don't expect monetary help, but any emotional help, I'm there. So thank you all for joining. I'll be back on Tuesday, and I shall see you then. Goodbye.